Hi, this is Sonia Longstreet. Welcome to our YouTube channel. We're doing something a little different today. I really want to introduce you to Gary and Michele's beautiful, lush garden. Wonderful garden, and there's an increase, marvelous increase happening in this garden. And then I'm going to take you into the basement of their home so that you can see what they do with the incredible harvest that they produce. And then towards the end of the video, you want to stay for the end of the video. You want to hear Gary and Michele's testimony regarding this journey that they're on with this garden and the harvest of the garden, and what they believe that the Lord has led them to do with the harvest. So you want to stay to the end. Enjoy.
That's for the start the seeds. This is all boxwood. And
He's got beans on the outside of that and tomatoes on the inside of that one.
One over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta come over here and see this. So what we had a whole bunch of seeds from last year. So what I did is I planted the seeds all along here.
Jason's store. They were
that's
up
what
on
these
the
are.
walls
The outside ones are seeds. That
So
right there on that
we were
side is a
able to
long
buy the
bean.
posts and use the racks from
And
the
then on the
store
inside we got tomatoes.
as trellises for the
Potatoes growing.
veggies.
There's carrots down there. And then we got beans on this side too. We got beans on both sides. I left about 6 inches when I put these racks up. I left about 6 inches on each side.
Wow. So what's in the back of this?
What's in the back of it? I'll take you over here and show you.
Let's squash. It's not easy to walk around in here, Curtis. You have to be careful. Watch your step. I mean, it's just everything is real narrow.
There's one there. This is called, what's this white one called, Michele?
Patty pan.
Patty pan.
Oh,
We haven't eaten one of those yet. That's the first
Patty
one.
pan.
Patty pan. And these are different kinds of squash. Right in here is these are all beans right here.
Okay.
And these are cucumbers right here. So you can
How's
see
that
there's
one
zucchini
doing,
right here.
Gary?
See the zucchini?
Yeah.
So in here we have you can see that we have this is a Japanese cucumber. It has one of those you know those long ones they have in the store. That's right.
Yeah, this was our lettuce bed here, but it's all done.
So this guy kind of carried away. These two big plants are 8-foot squash. Last year we grew the butternut squash right there.
Okay.
And we tried an acorn squash there, but it never really took off very good. Shrinks with the freeze dryer. The food doesn't shrink. Okay, most things right now we have green onions in here and some zucchini and yellow squash, and there's different things on this one, but usually takes 24 hours for the items to freeze dry. And so that, the purpose of it obviously is to make your food last longer. And the reason why we got the freeze dryer was because of our garden, our large garden. We wanted to make sure that we were good stewards over the harvest that God gives us. So that's the reason why we got it.
And you could put it in milk. She was telling me you could put it in milk and it'll come back.
We'll take it upstairs. I'll show you.
Okay. Okay. She's going to take it upstairs and demonstrate it. Okay, cool.
So what we started doing is we made the broth. So we bought ground beef, and so we freeze dried the ground beef. We also freeze dried the broth, and so now we package ground beef with some of its broth in the package. So when you reconstitute it, you add a little water. You're adding a little bit of water to the natural broth of the beef.
They're more like candy.
Yeah.
So, nothing wasted.
The dry? It was good? Okay. I'll just use this one.
Yeah.
Open this.
Gary's handwriting not always easy to read, but you can see the difference between Gary and...
Do you like mango, Curtis?
Love it.
So what I started doing was this, but then we had to change because there wasn't enough room in here. So now I'm going to have to do fruits like A to L or M to Z, you know, so that you can find what it is you're looking for in whatever bin. So this is to keep it from any, you know, water, any rodents, any kind of, you know, pest or anything that would try to get in there.
This is mangoes.
Okay.
And you can't say no to this one. You gotta
Let's
try
taste the mango.
That's my
Uh-oh. 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 I got a big one.
So that's right.
I got a big one.
More than one, actually.
Oh, it's more than one.
Yeah, it's several pieces there that just kind of
Okay.
brought together.
Hold on. Hold it. It tastes like I'm eating candy. It tastes like I'm eating candy.
But you're eating fruit.
I'm eating fruit.
And so you can see how popular it would be for kids, too, if you didn't want kids eating, you know.
Getting my nutrients, vitamins.
Yeah, eating candy.
It tastes like candy.
Get one of our things of mushrooms, Michelle.
Curtis has a handful.
Do you like mushrooms?
Love them.
This is your lunch. This is your lunch. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You want some? You want some freeze-dried meat? So this is mushrooms.
Here, open your hand.
Curtis's lunch.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Awesome.
Now this is going to be a savory. We're moving from sweet to savory now.
Okay.
From sweet to savory.
So Irina said that would be like.
We're going to reconstitute this strawberry breakfast bar, which was made with Cheerios, with oats and almond milk. And so it's been freeze dried. And so I am just going to add a little bit of milk to get it started.
You could do that with water too.
Yeah, you could do it with water because it was made originally with milk, but I think it's kind of nice to do it with milk.
Awesome.
And we'll just stir it around in this milk to soften up those berries, those strawberries. We do want our cereal to be crunchy, but we want those berries to be a little softer. So we'll just let it set for a moment in that milk, and then we'll try it.
So what all is in the bar, in the breakfast bar?
The breakfast bar was made with Cheerios, with oats and almonds. It was on sale. We found the box of cereal on sale. And then we had some strawberries. I think these might have been frozen strawberries. And so we put them with the cereal and we added the almond milk. And then we freeze dried it. This one here is still, that big piece is still, just trying to get that softened up a bit. So you could eat it dry if you want to go camping or backpacking, or you're on your bike or you're running out the door. You could grab a dry bar and just eat it dry. Or if you're at home and you would like to reconstitute it, you can do that. So I'd wait another minute and then you can try it. So we did some with raspberries. We tested them on family members. My brother likes total cereal, and my other brother-in-law likes bananas and walnuts in his. So I thought, oh, bananas and walnuts is like a banana nut bread with the total cereal. So that's going to be one of my next attempts with the almond milk, is to make a breakfast bar with total cereal, which has a ton of vitamins and minerals in it. It's one of the best marketed cereals that has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it, and then just add the bananas and some nuts or walnuts in there, and check that out and see how that goes over.
That means go ahead.
So we're on a journey, and you know, we feel really strongly that the Lord wanted us to start putting food away, storing food. You see the craziness that's going on outside in the world and in the United States, and there's a threat of food source being taken away from us. So anyhow, my wife Michele, she had been gardening for about 10 years, and I wasn't really interested in it, but with COVID-19, we wound up being stuck in the house, and I wound up in front of the TV, and we don't have regular TV, we just have YouTube. And so I started watching the gardening videos and homesteading videos, and started getting an interest in gardening and learning all about gardening. Now, in gardening, you know, who's gonna put a garden out and all that work and then not preserve the harvest that you get? So that's an issue that you deal with. If you put out, if you have 2 tomato plants and you try to plant them, and they, let's say each of them give you 60 tomatoes, you know, what are you going to do with all those 120 tomatoes? You know, so you have to be able to do something with the harvest. So there has to be a way to preserve them and to preserve the harvest, and we see that as a basic principle of the kingdom of God, where you know, we have to operate in we can't be in the position of wasting things, and we have a purpose in the things that we do. So we started, you know, last year we added 2 more beds. We had 4 by 8 beds. One of them was all raspberries, and last year we added 2 8 by 8 beds, and that increased our garden quite a bit last year. And so we didn't have enough. We needed something to do with the harvest, so we got a dehydrator. But then we found out after having the dehydrator that it preserves the food, but the foods don't really come back like they are when you would normally eat them. And so we started looking for other avenues of way to preserve, and Michele didn't want to can foods, so we could have canned them, but she didn't want to do that. So we started looking into a freeze dryer. And I knew about the freeze dryer when I bought the dehydrator, but the dehydrator you can get for $50 to, you know, $400, $700. But a freeze dryer starts at about $3,000. So there's a huge price difference, and it scared us away the first time, and last year it scared us away. So at the end of the year, last year, I just felt the Lord speaking to me about increasing the garden, and so we took our backyard, and the grass we had in the backyard, we pretty much eliminated to where we have about 2 or 3 feet of grass in the very front of the backyard, and the rest of it's all garden. And I asked Curtis to help me build some more raised beds, and so he came over in the fall, and it's a good thing that he did come over then, and we did do it then, because the price of lumber has really shot up, and we didn't, you know, we bought the lumber when it was pretty cheap, you know. So, you know, the Lord was showing me that. I didn't know exactly why, but anyhow, so we went from 6 beds to 5 beds to 11 beds, and we went last year. We grew probably what would you say, 8 tomato plants. Most of them were cherry tomato plants. We went from 8 plants last year to 28 tomato plants this year. And anyone that's ever grown a tomato plant knows it takes up a lot of space. So, so this year we increased our garden. We planted garlic in the fall. Last year you have to plant it in the fall, and we harvested about over 40 heads of garlic that's in the garage drying out right now. We got 100 onion starts. I grew some yellow onions myself, and we got some onions from them, but we got 100 onions, and there's some of the heads are like about this big. So we haven't harvested them yet. We probably harvested, when we get done, it'll probably be about 15 heads of cabbage, probably 8 heads of broccoli, and we have so much food coming in to the garden, through the garden, and I would say the bean plants, we probably have 100 different kinds of bean plants, and so what they would call it would be an urban homestead. That's what that's the name they have put to that. But so, you know, there's a pretty big harvest there to preserve, and we're just being ready. The Bible talks about being prepared for what's about to happen, and so that's one of the main themes that God gives us, is to be prepared. And so I've had some visions, and I felt the Lord speaking to me about that the people aren't ready for what's going to happen, and so, you know, we're trying to be the best prepared we possibly can. And so the Harvest Right freeze dryer that we bought, it hardly ever rests. It's barely off. It might be off for like an hour and a half to 2 hours to defrost it, and then it starts up again. We have load after load after load. We've had the freeze dryer probably over 2 months, and we probably freeze dried 50 loads. I'm just saying, 40 to 50 loads. And at one point, I told Michele, I said, looks like we're gonna need to get another freeze dryer, and she just looked at me kind of funny, you know. She didn't say nothing, and so a little while later, we decided that we needed to get another freeze dryer. So we ordered another freeze dryer. We can't even keep up with the capacity that we're doing right now. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff in the freezer ready to go in the freeze dryer. And there's so much more we want to do. And in order to accomplish what we feel the Lord wants us to do, we need the ability to do it. So, is there something like that?
Well, we find that the quality of the food that's preserved with the freeze dryer is really uniquely amazing. We've done everything from fruits and vegetables to meats, and of course we've tried some of the things that we freeze dried just to kind of prove them and see, you know, how they're going to respond to reconstitution. And we've been very happy with the results of that. There's also no need for electricity. Once that food is preserved, you just, you know, seal it up in these Mylar bags or in canning jars, and so you save any opportunity for spoilage, really, because they've been so preserved through the freeze drying process that as long as you package them correctly, they're going to last for anywhere up to 25 years, which, you know, we don't really need them to last that long. But it's good to know that you're going to get a good shelf life out of those, 5 to 10 years. We even took number 10 cans of vegetables that we would find like for $3.50, a number 10 can of green beans, and we freeze dried those so that we have those for meals later on. So it's very economical. So even though the initial cost of the freeze dryer was, you know, a little stretched, now we're seeing that we're making that money back. And I think that the other benefit is the nutritional quality of the food and the fact that there's no preservatives. It's not like there's added salt or added, you know, different chemicals and things to the food. You put in that food what you want in it. And